Welcome to the eSales Podcast, your ultimate guide to mastering the art of online selling. Whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, digital marketer, or sales professional, this podcast is the passport to dominating the digital marketplace. Wow, I really enjoyed this episode today. We talked to Alana Mills, who's the author of The Breakthrough of Entrepreneurial Brilliance, which is the #1 book on Amazon. She talks about how sales is an opportunity to empower clients to give them clarity to say yes to themselves. And so for those of you who are looking at wanting to improve their sales calls or wanting to learn to love to sell, this is the episode for you. My name's V, your eSales navigator, and I really hope you enjoy the show. Hello and welcome, Alana, to this show. I'm very excited to have you on board today. For those of you who are tuning in, Alana is an international best-selling author on the breakthrough to entrepreneurial brilliance. She's a sought-after motivational speaker, and she's a qualified fitness coach. So that's something we have in common. That's fantastic. A mum of incredible 3 daughters. She lives in Brisbane, Australia, and also she's here to share her story on her entrepreneurial journey, the businesses that she's grown, and also what sales means to her and how it can actually be fun and not scary. So Alana, I'm very excited to have you on the show. Welcome.
Hi, V. Thank you. And I just found out something about you that I didn't know. You're a fitness instructor as well.
Yeah, I used to be in the fitness space for like the last 10 years or so. I've paused it because of Bubby and because of the shift in digital marketing. But yeah, that's health and fitness has always been my passion, and it's really important for me.
There you go. So that's something right from the get-go. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's just changing. And so I think like health and well-being, mindset stuff has always been a key theme for me. So that's why I don't know, for some reason I was just reaching out to you, Alana Mills. I was like, I think there's something that's calling me to reach out to her. And so this is why we're on the podcast today. And so I want to hear more about you. And the audience would love to tap into more about your knowledge and where you've come from.
I love that. Thank you. Great question. This latest book that I've released is basically about my entrepreneurial journey, starting right from my childhood. So I grew up on a remote cattle property, and I didn't go to school till I was 10 years old. So my mum homeschooled me
Wow.
So I literally didn't step into a mainstream school until I was grade 5. So you could imagine that was a big culture shock. And I guess I struggled with being quite shy. Like I've always known innately that I've always known I've had leadership qualities. I think that right from the get-go, but not having that early interaction with kids, I was always quite shy, but always knew that I wanted more from life. So when I finished my schooling, I left the farm and I went and studied business. And then at 21, I started my own beauty therapy business, which was a lot of fun. Started it from the get-go, from the ground up. So built my own business, my own model of business. Obviously, brick and mortar business is very different from online business. And shall I say what era that I started it? I started it in 1991. So there you go, listeners. You can do the math. But there was a great opportunity in the town that I grew up in. It was really booming at that stage, and there was only one beauty therapist in the town, and she it was probably like 3 weeks to get an appointment. So I just did the math. I didn't do like a business sort of, projection. I went, okay, there's one beauty therapist, the town's booming, and I'm just going to do it. And
amazing.
to cut a long story short, I had the business for 10 years and I sold it after 10 years, but I had 4 full-time staff and I started just with me. So it was a great journey and I really loved it. And of course, beauty therapy was very hands-on. So it was about journeying with my clients and forming relationships. So when I sold 10 years later, I still had clients that had journeyed with me all throughout that decade, and I journeyed with them, and it was just amazing the depth of relationship that I formed. And you know what? Everything in life, when we think about it, is about relationship, right?
Yeah.
And about communication, whether it's business, whether it's personal relationships with our family, friends, husband-wife relationships. it's all about relationships, and business is no different. And actually sales is no different, because that's just an extension of that relationship. And that's the way I guess I've always viewed sales, is being able to form a relationship with my ideal client and getting that trust, giving them value, interacting with them and forming that trust relationship, and then speaking into that. And I've never really considered sales as scary, or I guess because of the way I approach it, like just really authentically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I know for a lot of people, it can be really scary, because I'm not sure how old you are there, but I remember the days of the door-to-door sales, right?
Yeah.
Salesmen would come knocking on the door, and they'd be sales, particularly around the end of financial year, because they'd have these amazing sales. I remember I bought this vacuum cleaner. It was Kirby. It was called Kirby vacuum cleaner back in the early 90s. And it was a $3,000 vacuum cleaner. That was a lot of money in those days. But this salesman came in, and I remember what got me was he vacuumed the mattress, like the bed mattress. So we don't even know why. Thinking of that, he must have gone into the bedroom, but I'm sure I wasn't by myself that day. But that's not safe practice, is it? Letting a salesman go to the room. Anyway, he vacuumed the mattress, and he said, "Oh, look at all these skin cells coming out of the mattress." And I ended up buying the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, no way.
But it was half price. It was half price. But I guess we really don't have that concept as much anymore of door-to-door, like in-person sales.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I think whether it's door to door or whether you're cold calling, it's sort of same.
Yeah.
And I think it's still like that same feeling of, oh gosh, I have to approach someone I don't know. I have to kind of break that barrier. I have to, get someone to convince them to buy something. That kind of feeling, that feeling, whether it is door to door, I think the feeling's the same. I think the channel and the way you do it might be a bit different, but I love that story. You can't sell someone a $3,000 vacuum when you go knocking on the door and vacuuming on the lounge.
I can't believe it. I think I ended up selling it when we moved to Sydney. I think I ended up selling it in a garage sale. Can't even remember how much I got for it. Doesn't matter. I did a lot of vacuuming. So that was my justification, right?
Yeah. I love that so much. So please continue on with your journey. And after you've actually sold your beauty therapy business, where did you go from there?
So I ended up joining, I felt called, and I'm going to use that word to go deeper, I suppose, concerning relationships and helping people, particularly women. I've always been really passionate about helping women. So I went away and studied social work and joined an organisation called the Salvation Army, or the Salvos as we know them. And I was working with women that were marginalised in drug and alcohol rehabilitation, and also meeting the needs of just the communities that I was posted in generally. I was managing op shops, secondhand stores, and doing welfare. So it was quite a demanding job, I guess, but I really loved it. But in that type of job, there's a high burnout rate, simply because the needs are so great. And I often felt under-resourced in what I could do to help these women. I remember one particular situation. There might be a little trigger warning here for people, but there was a lady, she came into my welfare office, and she looked like she'd had every last inch of life sucked out of her, and I escorted her in, asked her to sit down, and I asked her how I could help, and she said, "I wonder if you could help me. My baby died 2 days ago, and I've got no money to bury him." So that was the kind of stuff that I faced. So it was big, but it was, yeah, it was a part of my life that I really enjoyed, but a part of my life that I kind of felt I had come to the end of it, and I needed to kind of get out and just go back into doing something a little bit lighter. But at that stage, I'd already been a fitness instructor as well, so I had my own little side hustle. So it was a great part of my life, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'd go back in doing that to such a degree.
Yeah.
Plus I had 3 young children as well, so it was quite
Yeah.
demanding.
Yeah, wow. I think, but those moments and those phases in your life really shape and form not you, but what I'm saying is open your eyes up to a whole new area and spectrum of life, right? I remember when I was also working for the YMCA, they're a non-for-profit organization,
Ah,
Alana,
yeah.
and I was doing exercise physiology for people with disabilities and strokes and cerebral palsy, and so that phase of my life, similarly to you, was like I don't know, life changing in the way that it actually opens your eyes to things and say how grateful you are. And then from that point, like I think similarly to you, it kind of made me realize, okay, I can impact the world in different ways. So I think those stories, as sad as they are, it's kind of like a way to kind of bring light to another area of life or another corner in the world. I don't know. And I can see that you've kind of started to do your thing and read books and kind of impact the world in your own way. And I think maybe one of those experiences are probably part of it as well.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. It's the experiences in life that mold us and shape us, and I think give us that wisdom, that compassion, and empathy to be able to come alongside other
Yeah.
people and just speak into their lives in such a, an empathetic but yet an empowering way as well, and to journey with them. So no matter
100%.
what I do with my life, I'll always feel called to journey with people and just speak into their lives in a positive way. I feel that has always been my calling.
Yeah.
For being on this planet in this
Oh,
lifetime,
I love it.
and that's 100% what I intend to do till the day that I transition and leave this earth. So yeah, going back into, because I'd always studied business, I'd always had businesses, and then I years ago stepped into that fitness space, and now I've created my own business as well with fitness. I felt again called to speak into the lives of particularly women, female
Yes.
entrepreneurs
Yeah.
that might be struggling, might be at a point in their business and they just don't know how to scale to the next
Yes.
level,
Yeah.
or they've got this amazing concept, this amazing idea, and they want to birth it
Yes.
into a tangible business. So that's where I really felt called to step into that space and just empower women and share my knowledge and what I've discovered and the skills that I've learned along the way,
Yes.
for women to be successful. It particularly, I talk about in the book, finding financial freedom, because I heard a quote the other day that women around retirement age or in their 70s are so much more impoverished than what men are if they've not, say they've had situations in life where they've become divorced,
Yeah.
and they're on their own. Like, the statistics are phenomenal, for women that are just surviving, whether it's on a pension or week to week, compared to the assets that men have accumulated along the way. So I think I feel it's really important. I'm divorced. I'm a divorced woman.
Yeah.
I've been to, I think it's about 7 years now. And I felt particularly called to empower women to be, independent and
Absolutely.
100%, have that backing. And for my girls, like my eldest is 18 now, she's at uni, but I really want to model for my girls that you can create and be whatever you want to be in life, and be a strong, independent woman. So that's something that really resonates with me. And that was another reason for writing the book as well. And I find the clients I work with, my business clients, they want financial freedom. We all do, right? We all do.
100%. Off the side, my baby is crying. I'm so sorry,
Oh, God,
Alana.
no,
I'll
no.
just gonna get
Oh, yes, okay, yes.
gonna get him. I'm gonna bring
So
him on the journey with me.
I'll just keep talking to a blank
No,
screen.
keep going.
Okay. So, listeners, this is real life. Like, V's just had to go off and attend to her little one. So, so my book, I guess, as I was saying, the main reason for putting pen to paper and writing it was to speak into the lives to say to women in particular, you can find this financial freedom and you can find emotional fulfillment along the way as well. So it was really about balancing that, feeling fulfilled in your entrepreneurial journey. Because I know a lot of women that have made it, they've really made it in their businesses, but they're still not fulfilled. They still feel like there's a piece of them that's they're successful. I talk about it in my book. When I had my beauty therapy business, people would come to me and say, oh, you must feel so successful. And I was, but I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel successful. I didn't feel fulfilled. So I talk about that from an emotional standpoint as well.
Little Bubby.
How are you doing?
That's how he's feeling.
That's
Hi,
all
Alana.
right.
Hi.
Oh, hello, gorgeous. And I was just saying to the listeners,
for some reason he's upset again. Why is that little one?
I was just saying, this is real life, right? It's
I know. I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm not phased.
I'm
not phased. I'll
just give me 5 minutes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Off you go. Do whatever you need to do. Was he? Yeah, she's gone. So, listeners, yes. I guess it's speaking into the lives of women. It's just so important, ladies, and I know there's going to be men watching as well, but, there's a part of us, I guess, that we might have an amazing career or amazing business, yet there's a part of us that still feels unfulfilled, and there's a part of us that still, it's a bit like a jigsaw piece. There's something missing. And I talk about in my book, like the, I guess, the mindsets or the belief systems, the false belief systems we have created about ourselves, where we still don't feel successful and we still don't feel capable. And I've developed my own methodology that I talk about in the book, and it's called Deliberate Creative Process. And I take people back to a time in their life where those limiting beliefs were created. So I guess for me, I think about growing up on a cattle property, and my dad would always say to me, oh, if you want to do something right, you've got to do it yourself. And I don't know, maybe some of you can resonate with that. So I grew up thinking, oh my goodness, I'm the only one that can do a certain process the right way. If I want to do something right, I'm the one that's got to do it. And I was the world's worst at asking for help. So I would never ask anyone for help. And then but deep inside, I'd go, oh my goodness, why can't someone just come and help me? Why do I have to do everything by myself? So all that emotion would well up. And then I'd quietly go, I'm just so frustrated that I can't get any help on this project or this task or whatever situation it was. And then so much so that I literally explode and make my case known. I just never get any help around here, when all the while, A, I hadn't even asked for it, and B, because I thought I was the only one that could do it. So in my book, I talk about those kinds of limiting beliefs. I talk about procrastination. And I think that's quite common for a lot of the clients that I work with, is particularly around business and making decisions. And I know a lot of my clients really procrastinate about what decision should I make for my business, and it can be absolutely overwhelming at times. And I found that a lack of clarity in decision making, or a lack of clarity in getting tasks done, everyday tasks in business, which is a form of procrastination, that can be linked to procrastination itself is linked to pain and fatigue around the task at hand. So the reason we procrastinate is because we've linked pain or fatigue to getting the task done. So we put it off. And that's the real reason why we procrastinate, or why we just don't want to make decisions, because we've linked pain and fatigue to decision making. And hello, you're back.
You are amazing. I just want to say you're incredible. I was literally just like getting Ravi, getting the dummy, getting the milk, and all of a sudden I just hear your voice, pain, fatigue, just going and talking and this and that. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. You just keep going. I love it. I just want to say kudos to you. It just made me smile.
talking to the screen. That's okay.
Yes. Oh, incredible. So where did you get off to? Pain, fatigue. Keep talking to
Yes,
me
I'm
about that.
talking about procrastination and decision making in our business. The main reason why we procrastinate, and it's not necessarily in business, but getting like everyday tasks done, and it can be linked to decision making, is because we emotionally and logically we've linked pain and fatigue to getting that task done. So what happens? So when we're putting something off, it's because we've from an emotional set point. That's how we view it.
Yes.
So it's about going back, finding out where that that belief or that misconception has come from, and unpacking that, working through that, and then linking a massive pleasure to actually getting something done. So every time, we get a task done or we have to make a decision, we actually link massive pleasure before we go into doing that task.
Right.
And there's a part of the brain that I talk about, it's called the reticulating activating system in the book. And it is actually linked. It's called, they're just doing a lot of studies with it, with neuroscience, but and particularly about productivity in the space of teams and corporate, in the corporate space. And they're doing a lot of study into it about brainstorming with teams and how we can link massive pleasure into that part of our brain to be actually more productive. So instead of coming to work, sitting on the computer, logging on, it's about delving into that emotional set point of going, what can I get done today? Being really excited about ticking off whatever the task is. And we link massive pleasure. And I mean, we actually seriously link massive pleasure and really celebrate and praise ourselves for getting even just one. It might just be, I don't know, unloading the dishwasher. Woo! Done it. Absolutely done it. And the brain, this system in our brain actually picks up on that pleasure from doing that task. And so next time we go to do it, it actually works. Takes a little bit of practice, but it actually works. Yeah, the more pleasure we link, the brain won't pick it up as, oh, I've got to unload the dishwasher. The brain will actually pick up that emotional set point from that task that we've done. Doesn't matter what the task is.
Yeah.
And that's how we get our motivation. They're just doing a lot more studies at the moment, scientists, into the reticular activating system. And I've read a lot on it, V, and yeah, it actually works. It really does. Like even talking about it now, oh my God, I've got to go and unpack the dishwasher. Woo! I'm going to do it once it's done. Instead of, I've got to go and unpack the dishwasher. Like it actually does work.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can see that, and I can sort of understand the concept behind it. And I'm keen to kind of leverage this to kind of give the audience a bit of a tip to say that things, whether there's a daunting task or there's something that they're hesitating to do, picking up the calls or calling that lead or following up, like they're the things that a lot of people tend to procrastinate on. I know that I do too, and I have days and I'm just not feeling it and not excited to clean the dishwasher when it comes to following up sales. So how do you what would you recommend, a tip for the audience to kind of get that switch? I'm not quite sure if I'm using the right terminology.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You've
that switch.
encapsulated that perfectly.
Yeah. How and what do you suggest people do?
So let's do it. Okay, let's do it from the point of a cold call. I haven't had enough coffee. So
yes, cold call done.
It is early, the team, just to let everyone know on the call. So what I would envisage is about connecting with the person. I don't know anything about it, but before the call, I would actually go through how the call is going to go in my mind and link massive pleasure into calling this person and being excited and learning about where they're up to in their business, what change they want, and about speaking amazing value into the conversation. And on that note, I just want to say to the listeners that true sales is actually a gift. I'll repeat that. True sales is actually a gift. Because if you think about it, you are just helping that person to make a decision to say yes to themselves. So what you're actually giving that person is amazing clarity to be able to say yes to themselves. Because consider this, the reason we often feel unfulfilled in life, or the reason we're caught in a situation of indecisiveness or pain around not being able to make a decision is because we've not had the clarity, the ability to be able to say yes or no. So I just look at it about giving that person amazing clarity to be able to say yes to themselves. And I don't hold any attachment to the call. So I hold no attachment around it. If it's their time to say yes, and everything's about timing in life as well. Everything is about timing. So you might have your ideal client, but it might not be the right timing for them, and that's okay. But if you've already formed that relationship and spoken some value and helped them to decide whether, yes, is this the right time for me to say yes to myself, or maybe it'll be down the track, but you've held no attachment to that. That it doesn't mean that just because it's not the right time now, it might not be the right time later on.
Yeah.
But if you've already formed that connection, given them amazing value, held that space for them to be able to make a decision, you've already given them a gift.
Yeah.
In that space.
Yeah.
And you've already formed a trust relationship. So I actually hold no attachment to whoever wants to work with me. Great. Is this the person that's going to work with me today? And I get excited about it. Okay, I'm going to call this person. Is this the one that's going to work with me? And if it's not, that's okay. But I just want to hold space for them to be able to make a decision and to give them clarity about saying yes.
Yeah, wow, this is incredible. I love this. I really do. I think what you're saying about holding space, I think a lot of the time on a call, I can see that their mind and their brain and their body is ticking along to say, what if I can do this? And then there's the doubt, and then everything that's kind of coming up for them. And you're right. I think during those times like silence, allowing them to kind of feel the feels, all the feels of whether they want to do this shift or not is a massive, it's a massive aha moment for them. And for those of you who are waiting for that aha, sometimes it doesn't come on the call. Maybe it'll come later, or maybe it doesn't come at all. But you're so right. The call is actually a transformation point, whether you make the sale or not. It's incredible. So how did you get to that point when you realized, okay, I'm just going to detach from this process, let the person do what they need to, and give them space?
I think I was just talking while you were away about, I guess coming to a place of unpacking my unlimiting beliefs, and I've done a lot of work around that in the last half a century. But so I mean, we can only ever be as capable as we feel. So I used to come across like, oh my goodness, I'm super confident, but on the inside I wasn't. So I've done a lot of work about unpacking those belief systems that I've held about myself, and I've actually cleared all that emotion around that. And I've come from a point of neutrality now, in understanding everyone has everyone's got their own limiting beliefs about themselves, whether they know it or not. Most of us do, sort of know what triggers us, where we feel a lack of confidence, whatever area it might be, whether it's communication, forming trust, relationships. But so I've done a lot of work to unpack that, and just come from that space of neutrality that I've realised my purpose here is to really just empower women, whether that's in a sales call, giving them the opportunity to say yes to themselves, whether it's delivering amazing value that they can actually realise in what is the next step for them to do in their business. And I just hold that space of being just providing a gift to them. And when you hold that energy, it's actually an energetic set point. That energetic set point just coming from neutrality and really just wanting to help women. I find that the results have to follow inevitably.
Yes.
Because I talk about my process that I've trademarked in the book. It's called Deliberate Creator Process. So when you think of it, we're all here to work with each other. And the big thing is that, unfortunately, in this time space reality, we all need to eat, right? We all need a house, and we all need so we're constantly selling. Everything in life is sales when you think about it, because everything in life is relationships. But it's funny, because I want you to consider this, listeners. everyone wants to buy something they value, but no one wants to be sold to, right?
100%.
Everyone wants to buy something they value, but no one wants to be sold. I'm the same. I'm the same. I'll walk into a dress shop, and if I'm just browsing, one of the ladies will come up and say, "Oh, do you want some help?" And I said, "No, I'm just browsing." But I guarantee, if I've seen something online, I've gone into that dress shop, I've already made a decision that I want to buy whatever it was that I've seen online, and I will 100% go up to someone and say, "Hey, can you help me? I need a size, blah, 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 in this. Have you got it? Can you got it?" Because I've already made the connection that I want to buy that item. So on that point, we as human beings, we buy emotionally and we back it up logically.
Yes.
So whether going back to that value, buying something that we really value. So it's no difference in making a sale that's $200 to $2,000. We've still got to dig in our pocket, get our credit card out. And logically, that's, and emotionally, that's kind of going to hurt. But if we've decided that we absolutely need this service or this product 100% and spoken to us emotionally, we will do whatever it takes for our logical mind to back that up.
Yeah. So
by emotion, yeah. So how do we get to that? I suppose speaking to that emotional sales point from where people are going to buy. First off, I guess we have to really, whether it's a product or a service, develop that trust aspect with our ideal client, show why our product or service is going to really solve their problem. Because, why do we buy? We essentially have a problem or a need, and we need something to fill or to solve that problem or to fill that need. So it's speaking into that ideal client to say, hey, I've got this product or I've got this service that's going to provide their solution 100%.
Yes.
To your problem.
Yeah. Okay. So there's lots to unpack that. And I really like that example you gave when you walk into a shop and you've already decided that you're looking for a jacket, right? And then you're like, yep, can you give me a size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the shopkeeper. But then if you walk into a shop browsing and then someone goes up to you and says, hey, would you like some help? It's immediate push away. No, which is so interesting, because then I kind of think, there are people who out there are, saying in their ads, attract your leads, be the authoritative, have people come to you rather than you approaching them in sales or in business, and position yourself in that authority, right? So there's that mindset of, people want to buy yet not be being sold to. Change the way you position yourself in the market.
I think for me, yes. I think you have to, it's almost like you have to be in the head of your ideal client. You have to kind of know their speak and know them better than what they know themselves, if you like. I was in a forum the other day, and there was a Facebook forum, and there was one of the business ladies was asking about, she was designing a course, and she was asking about, attracting your ideal clients. And specifically, she was talking about sleep and how to get your baby to sleep. And I think I wrote something like, it's, dawn's, like the sun's just come up, and you're going through the day wondering how you're just going to get through hour by hour and minute by minute. And that I was actually, and then you're stumbling around in a fog in your mind for the rest of the day, and then leading into what tips she was going to provide for mums who can't get their bums to sleep. And she's wrote back, she said, I love that. And I thought, the reason I was able to speak into that, because I've been there. And, it's literally, when your baby's not sleeping, you're literally stumbling around going, how am I going to get through this hour by hour, minute by minute? So we almost need to speak into the speak of our ideal clients. What are they going to say? What are they resonating with? And when you can do that, it's so much easier, because all of a sudden the person reading that is going, oh my God, how do you know? That's how I feel. My baby's not sleeping. I'm exhausted. So then they're going to read into whatever service she's offering and stay on that landing page or website long enough to be hooked into the next bit of value she's giving.
So it's sort of like meeting the client or the prospect or the other person where they're at.
Yes.
Understanding their thinking, their experiences.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
And sorry,
no, keep going.
And I think, if you're like sort of, I don't know, when I go into business, I need to be passionate about what I'm delivering, the service or the product that I'm delivering. The same when I was delivering skincare, my skincare ranges. And so I was like, I would talk about what this product would do for the skin and just how much I loved it. And I was selling it without selling it because I really believed 100% in the product. And I think it shows through. So have absolute confidence in what you're delivering to your ideal client. This will solve your problem because X, Y, Z. I think for me, not having a service-based business, like I will actually guarantee my services.
Yeah.
So whoever comes to me for coaching, I will guarantee it. 100%. So you have to make your offer a no-brainer. An absolute no-brainer, because remember, when we buy, the ego or the protective self, I talk about in the book, the protective self, which is where our limitations and our misconceptions come from, never wants to look wrong. Do you ever want to look wrong?
So
See,
true.
I don't want to ever look wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever go, I bought this coffee, it tastes like whatever, I should have gone somewhere else. Oh, why did I buy that coffee? And then you do it 100%. We all do it. We don't ever want to look wrong. We don't ever like, especially if we paid money for something. Oh my goodness. So, we have to really come from that standpoint where the ideal client is buying whatever you're offering, product, service, and you're backing it up that right from the get-go, that they have made a really good decision to buy into this. Because remember, we buy emotionally, back it up logically. So you give them as much value and as much security. I'm going to use the word security to say, if you purchase whatever I'm offering, like it's, this is a no-brainer for you, or I'm guaranteeing my product. And so of course they're going to do it, because instantly there's that sense of, I'm going to make this purchase. It's going to be great, and why wouldn't I? Because you've removed all the objections, I'm going to say. Now, that I know that's easier said than done, but that's where we need to get into the minds of our ideal clients and speak the speak and try to remove as many objections as we can.
Yes, so true. I know when I make a purchase, or I know that when I've just like made a sale, right, there's a congratulations on my end, so I think for me, I do feel relieved. Like, I remember, the first time I got sold into a $20,000 coaching program, I was so nervous, scared. I was like, what the fridge am I doing? So scared. But there was some kind of assurance that I had on the other side with the person on the call with me. And they were just like, congratulations, you're doing well. You'll kill it in your business. We'll teach you blah, blah, blah. We'll hold your hand, all that kind of stuff. And for me, it was nerve-wracking, scary. I knew I made the right decision, but I had to face my fear of, now I'm starting, as opposed to, I don't know if I can do this, that. And so I kind of felt more empowered. So I love that you were saying it's a no-brainer, and you kind of have to shift your way through the ego. So you kind of get to the point of congratulations, and it's an achievement, and it's a thing, and it's a transformation. So that is such a cool way of kind of explaining it. I think for me, I'm thinking of it and reflecting back to my calls, and also me buying as well. So I love how you articulated it in a really simple, easy way to understand. And I hope the audience is also gaining the same aha as I do as well.
Oh, fantastic. That's good, because, sometimes not sometimes, the more money we've got to hand over for something, the more the ego is going to fire. And which I call the protective self. It's going to go, what have I done? What have I done? oh my God. And so anything you can do, and I love that you've said, congratulations, I'm saying yes to yourself for buying this service or this product. That is going to provide more security again. And then And then it's going to go into the logical mind. Oh, yes, I've done it. I've done the right thing. I've done the right thing. Because as soon as we get out one of these babies, I don't know about you, I've still got no credit card. As soon as we get out one of these babies, this is going to fire. Everything's going to fire.
Yeah.
What have I done? What have I just
So
done?
true.
It's going to fire always.
So true.
100%. You wouldn't be human if it didn't happen.
Mm.
So that's where it comes into this assurance. If there's, a little guarantee or congratulations, saying yes to yourself, and just whatever it takes. Something just popped into my mind. This is a bit random.
Go.
But when I used to get my product deliveries, like the beauty salon, when I'd get my stock in, there was a couple of suppliers. I remember they'd always used to pack little chocolates and little thank you for your order in when you were unpacking the stock. And I don't know why this has just popped into my mind, but even just something little like that to back up this purchase, like I know obviously I've had to order the stock and so on, but it was just that little thank you with a couple of chocolates, just little things. It's just those little touches to go, oh, isn't that cool? I'm restocking and putting all these products on the shelf, and I've got a little chocky to eat while I'm doing it.
Yes, I agree with that. I can relate because there are coffee shops who just give you just coffee, but when you're at other cafes, they give you coffee and a little shortbread biscuit.
100%.
Yes, please.
100%. So what can I do to go that little bit extra, that extra
Yes.
mile or whatever it might be? Just something. It doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be a huge outlay. It doesn't just. Again, it's that trust relationship. It's honouring the other person. It's giving them value and speaking to lives, and it makes a difference. It absolutely does.
Yeah, gosh, there's so many key takeaways in this. I love that. What's that extra little bit? We spoke about, how sales is more of a giving value and allowing people to say yes to themselves. I think that's a big key. And I think, when you kind of frame it in a way that it's a space for them to say yes to themselves, it does take you as the person's on the call, or you, Alana Mills, as the coach, take you away from the occasion, like at all.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it works because you're not holding that energy of need.
Yeah, that's right. That's so true.
I hate to I don't know, sometimes when you get reach outs, like people just reaching out to you, and I know we're running short on time, but I had a lady reach out to me the other day, and she said, oh, I can't wait to talk to you. And I've gone, oh, okay, who's this person? What are they about? And it's just really weird because it's like, I've never been on a dating site, but it's kind of like, I would imagine, being on a dating site and someone messaging you and saying, hey, can't wait to go to bed with you. It's too much too fun. You can't do that. That's not the way relationships.
Yes.
And whether it's, like a dating relationship, business relationship, you can't just approach someone and go, hey, let's talk. Hey, let's go to bed. It doesn't work like that.
100%.
You have to reach out to them and give a little bit of value and give a little bit more value and have that trust and develop that relationship.
Yeah.
So I would say just don't ever do that. Just don't reach out to someone and go, who are you? I don't know who you are. What are we talking about? That is something that really I will recoil if that happens, So it's speaking into that space little by little. That's how relationships are developed. When you met your husband.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. No, I get it. You didn't start off with a, hey, let's go to bed together.
I don't know. Maybe it did. That's okay. That's okay if that's what you both wanted. But generally, oh my God, I'm talking too much. Generally, that's not the way relationships progress, right?
Generally, yes.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no difference between business and
Yeah, that's so true. And it is just building relationships, whether it's accelerated or just slow, whatever way.
At 8:17 in the morning, I love where this whole conversation has gone, don't you?
Yeah, I know. You never know such things. It's so good. Just go with the flow and just wing it.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, fantastic. I love this so much. I think, building relationships and starting little by little, slowly by slowly, and giving space to the other person is so important. Just like dating.
Yeah, 100%. It's no difference. And coming from a needy point when you're dating, I guarantee no one wants that, right? Whoa.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the same in business.
Yeah.
Absolutely the same. You know, like that's why we can't, if we're in that needy space, oh, I really need you to buy this. I really need it. No one. That energy is just going to speak out 100%. So that's where we've got to remove that, whatever we're holding, remove that energy first. And just come from a space of neutral. Hey, you know, how can I help you today? And what can I deliver to you? And I guarantee once we remove that neediness, the rest will just flow in. And I talk about it in the book, and obviously there's a process to do that. But I think be like for entrepreneurs, it's really sales is the biggest thing that holds them back.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And so I guess part of it is like the reason why, you know, starting the podcast, connecting to someone like yourself and other, you know, people who have been there, done that, and on the journey as well. I think it's so important to build this community and have these open conversations as one channel to kind of help smooth out the barriers and the blockages that may come and do come in sales. So I've really enjoyed talking to you today, Alana. I wish we had more time actually, but for those,
I'm happy to come again if you ever want me again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm definitely up for that. I think the number of topics we can talk about are endless. But for those of you who are listening, how can they find more information on you and how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, sure. So I've got my landing page is breakthrough to brilliancebook.com.au.
Yep.
I'm just on Facebook under my name, Alana Mills, and Insta as well. And of course, my book's called Breakthrough to Entrepreneurial Brilliance. I think you can probably see it.
Yeah, I can. It's in the blue
background.
Yes.
So it's only been out for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks maybe now. I was fortunate enough that it went to #1 bestseller in Canada. US and Australia in 3 categories, I think in 2 countries and 1 category in Canada. And it was interesting because the categories were around business communication. That's where it got #1. So that was my intention to really, to be confident to speak into women's lives, to enable them, give them, break down the misconceptions and to give them some skill sets around how to be confident, to stay in their power when speaking into business meetings or sales or whatever it is. So that was cool. So cool. And the great part is on Kindle you can just jump on and read, read a sample, read a few pages. And I always say, if it resonates with you, with what you read, the sample resonates, love you to buy the Kindle copy and go from there. Doesn't resonate, it's all good. Yeah. Because it's seriously, and I mean that with so much love. And absolutely. And if it's not the book, it's you, it's you, and it's this podcast show and also other podcasts and just following you. So I'll definitely have all those links in the description so people can follow you and follow your journey. Congratulations on launching your book. I didn't realize it was only just a few weeks ago. I thought it was a little while ago. Wow, congratulations. 3 weeks. It's been such a ride, and it's been my first book in my own entirety. Yes. I was with I wrote just my story in a book with 24 other women from around the world last year.
Wow.
And it was called Voices of Impact, and it actually went to #1, I think, in about 5 different countries.
Amazing.
So, but it's very different to write your own book in your own entirety. But I love writing just as much as I love talking, everyone. So it was kind of like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, no, it just sings. It just works with you as your brand and you. Oh, I love this so much. Such a good example of like how people can follow and actually live your you, and everything's just kind of following you at the moment. So like, congratulations. I'm excited to see your journey and we'll connect soon. But thank you so much for joining the show, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you listening into the show today. And if you did like our content, please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or this YouTube series, so that way we can keep giving you more content and sharing you more knowledge around how to scale your sales online. And if you are wanting to boost your sales online, please sign up to our e-sales school, where you will learn to automate and navigate your way around in this digital marketplace. Thank you so much once again. I really appreciate you joining in today. And remember to keep selling, keep having fun, and keep being you.